Have you ever thought about what happens when football collides with the weird and wacky? Imagine this, from phantom phone calls to penalties not taken by pop stars, football history is a tapestry of the outlandish. Today we're looking at the most perplexing and stranger-than-fiction moments in football history. Let's unveil those unbelievable tales where fans left confused and players asking, what just happened? If you're as interested in these breathtaking moments as we are, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Number 5. 1996. Graeme Souness and Southampton sign Ali Dia. So, in 1996, one of the worst, most baffling, and most mocked signings of all time took place when Graeme Souness and Southampton captured Ali Dia. That fateful day, the Senegalese international that Southampton was about to sign received a phone call from one George Weah. He talked ever so highly of the player, promising that they would get an absolute steal. Not researching anything about his past at all, the Saints signed him and even played him in the Premier League. Needless to say, he was terrible. Number 4. 1996. Estonia vs Scotland, one team in Tallinn. Anyone who has ever played junior football will bear testimony to a game where the opposition either couldn't be bothered or failed to turn up. To my mind, however, it has never happened at a professional level or an international level before or since. In 1996, Scotland visited Tallinn to play Estonia in a World Cup qualifier for France '98, only for the home team not to show up. Everyone knew that the Estonians would not show as they were protesting against FIFA moving the match back to 15.00 from 18.45 as their floodlights did not meet the required standards. But the Scots had no choice, as failure to play would have deemed them eligible for FIFA competition. John Collins shook hands with the match officials as if it was a competitive game. The Tartan army enjoyed themselves, however, singing, "There's only one team in Tallinn." Number 3. 1994. Diana Ross has penalty to take, misses. They will have said that 1994 was going to be the big moment for football fever in the good old United States. On the whole, and despite a generally poor tournament, it was well received and still to this day holds the record for attendance. It could have all gone so wrong on the opening day though. Some genius somewhere in the FIFA and US soccer think tanks must have thought that Diana Ross singing would make for a great opening. That's right, they even let Diana take a penalty. The theory was that if Ross shot with enough force, the goal would split in two, and she would run on and complete the final verse. She missed the target altogether. Number 2. 1982. Harold Schumacher tries to decapitate Patrick Battiston. The World Cup in 1982 was one of the best of all time. It had great goals, great teams, and great players aplenty. It also had the most controversial tackle/assault of all time. In the semi-final between France and Germany, Harold Schumacher, the German goalie, absolutely hammered Patrick Battiston with one of the most dangerous tackles ever seen. It was so bad that if it had not been on the football pitch, he would have got 6 months in jail for it. Battiston left the field unconscious and with damaged neck vertebrae. Some French players even thought he was dead. To rub salt into French wounds, Schumacher was outstanding in the penalty contest that saw Germany go through. Contrary to some rumors, Schumacher was not the best man at his wedding. Anyway, he did offer an apology and they have actually remained friends to this day. Number 1. 1982. Kuwaiti Sheikh scores a goal, then has it disallowed after protests. The World Cup in 1982 had more than enough material to produce an entire montage of the most baffling moments itself. But it spawned its funniest during France vs Kuwait. France in 1982 was a magnificent team. It is one of the great shames of football that this French side never won a World Cup. They did manage to win the European Championships in 1984 though. But back to Kuwait. They were outplayed completely and thoroughly by the French. The Blues were giving the runaround to the Kuwaitis and had 4 goals disallowed for offside before going 4-1 up through an Alangares strike, which was termed controversial. Up stepped Sheikh Fahad Al-Ahmad Al-Sabah, who is the president of the Kuwait FA, and tried to get the game abandoned or France's 4th goal disallowed on the grounds that his team had stopped after they heard another whistle. And the goal was eventually disallowed after those protests, much against French protests. Incidentally, France did score again through Maxime Bossis to win 4-1. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this journey through soccer's strangest moments, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for much more mind-bending content.